Memories of my childhood abuse have only been rising up the past year or so, and I'm still not too sure how long it took place for, but I know I was young, very young, under the age of 6. My abuse was like the majority of abuse that happens. It was done by someone known to me, someone close to home. I believe now this led to me being challenged with learning difficulties in primary school. I was suicidal by age 14 and questioned my gender at age 15. By my early 20s, I had several crippling addictions. I was trying to numb the inner pain around with anything around me, but nothing was working. Despite being raised in a stable Catholic family, it was only a few years ago, due to my inner turmoil, that I actually felt compelled to consider Christ. But where could I find him? Who could I talk to? How could I share this deep shame and all the guilt I felt? I was frightened of being further condemned and crushed as I had been as a child. I knew if I saw a counsellor, I'd have to reveal my identity and pay money. I wasn't ready to either of these. Everything was just still too raw. I then remembered that I could talk to a priest in confession, and he was bound by the seal of confession not to repeat anything to anyone that I shared. I was still trying to work things out in my head and heart anyway. I didn't need an hour locked in a therapist's room. I just needed a few minutes to talk every so often on my own terms, because that's all I could cope with, to speak and feel heard without further invasion of my privacy. I went to confession, and through many sobs and tears, I tasted true freedom for the first time in my life. If I hadn't stumbled across the confessional, then where else would I have found my safe haven? Outside the seal of confessional, does such a place even exist? I found my home within the Catholic Church, a place I feel secure and safe and loved, and I've started to find the healing I've been yearning for since childhood. The state government's proposed amendments feel to me like a calculated attack on the Catholic Church, which is both my soul's home and hospital. I was betrayed and abandoned as a young child, and I feel I'm reliving that same pain. Only this time it feels like it's the politicians who are really abusing me when they're paid and elected to protect children and vulnerable adults. They proclaim to stand for justice, when in reality this proposed law only fuels injustice for abuse survivors, whilst adding to the deep layers of pain and shame that we already experience. If the state government passes this amendment, I and many other survivors will have our hope stripped from us. Our healing will be diminished, and our spiritual home and hospital will no longer be a safe place. If my healing journey is under attack, then the healing journey of Australians, hundreds of thousands of abuse survivors, are also under attack. How can any of us possibly help statutory authorities to bring perpetrators to justice if our journeys of recovery are now being directly threatened by the law? Anyone who really cares about protecting children needs to speak up now, so that this crazy law can just be scrapped. Politicians need to start taking this topic seriously and putting forward proposals that will actually help survivors like me to bring about true justice for all.